G'day mates, in today's video I want to kick off talking about the huge new update that just released, everything that's new and maybe a few things you didn't even realize were in the game. You maybe notice your game looks a lot different right now. That was deliberate. I'm going to explain why that is. Also, I want to talk about how you can get 2 skins for free that is over $50 worth of cosmetics in a tournament that is taking place today. So make sure you pay attention to that one. Also, we had some cool new analytics thrown together by Kinch to go through who the most consistent and arguably maybe you could say who are the best pros right now, and I think it's really interesting and I want to take a look at that. So there's a lot to talk about. Let's just jump into it. Before I even get into talking about the new update, I want to talk about something that seems to have a lot of people confused. When is the new season starting? And it's set to start on March 19th, which is just around the corner. That's like 16, 17 days away, which is crazy because we're used to having FNCS end a few weeks and then we have the new season start. But FNCS is running really, really late at the moment. But if you've been paying attention, the reason why I say it might be the 19th is because that's when we've had the leaks say that it's going to be, because the battle pass ends on the 19th. But the Champions Console Cup is also on the 19th. Round 1 is on the 18th and round 2 and 3 is on the 19th. They're not going to have two seasons, one tournament across 2 different seasons. It makes no sense. Have opens on season 1 and then finals on season 2. It just won't work. So I've got to imagine the battle pass ends on the 19th and the new season starts on the 20th, which is pretty exciting. And the reason why I mentioned this is because this is said to be one of the last major updates of the season, 19.40. And honestly, unfortunately, it was a bit of a letdown. We had amazing web week, so right now it's the new, the new crazy wild weeks. You have Spider-Man spawning in chests and you have bouncers unvaulted. That is just in pubs. That does not affect competitive at all. Obviously, FNCS Grands is less than a week away. They're not going to make major changes to the meta, and I believe that's also why we haven't seen any major map changes. I think a lot of people are expecting, myself included, all this IO based stuff where they're drilling and there's earthquakes and we're going to have Bugle fill up with lava, like all these leaks that have been going on all season. We've only now got, like I said, about 2 weeks for them to happen, but I don't think they're going to be able to happen until FNCS Grand Finals is over. Epic's been putting in a lot of effort to make sure these huge updates don't affect competitive, and with FNCS Grands on the weekend, they can't have Bugle just destroyed or giant, holes in the map. They've already changed the game a little bit because, you probably noticed that little house, or I guess kind of you want to call it like a diner that was just near Holy Hedges, is now collapsed into a sinkhole. There's now a slurp truck in there and stuff. That has affected the game a little bit, but it's not the same as Bugle flooding with lava. So maybe we can expect those massive changes after FNCS, but that'll only give us like a week to play on the new map or the changes before a new season. And normally I would say that means they probably won't change anything, but they've done that in the past. Do you guys remember during the Alien season in Chapter 2, at like a week to go in the season, we had Corny Complex sucked up in the sky, and it was like some of the most massive map changes we got all season, and we only had it for like a week until the season ended. So I don't know if that's going to be the main changes they make, but other than that, that is pretty much the entire update. We also had proximity voice chat in Imposters, but no huge deal with that. They did fix replay mode, which is massive for me doing my viewing parties of Grand Finals this weekend. If you've tuned into my streams, you know how frustrating that has been. The major change they also made to replay modes is you can now set the time of day in replay mode, even of a live game. So let's say a game is being played as we speak. In the settings, I can change it to daytime always, and it won't go to nighttime. And that's made a bunch of people ask, why can you do that in the replay modes, but not in the actual game, especially for you console guys who have to have shadows on? How many times have you been about to win a fight, it goes to nighttime, they're wearing a black superhero skin, and you literally cannot see them? It's incredibly frustrating. I don't know why we don't have the ability to change the weather or just make our own settings. Just if people want to see crazy, pretty nighttime settings, then let them have that, but let me set it to daytime if I want to, because that's what 99% of people are doing. But either way, it's a change for replay mode. It's helping me out, but I feel like I would take the chance to say, why is that not an option for players just for replay mode? You'll also probably notice on that topic about darkness and colors, the game looks very different. And this is because Epic Games this month is celebrating women, so it looks like this is kind of their move towards celebrating women. I don't really understand how making the game a little bit more greeny tinged and the sky a little bit pink has to do with that, but hey, I'm behind the cause. That is awesome. I'm glad Epic's doing something. They said there's more stuff to come on their Twitter, so I'm really hoping that turns into some really cool, substantial stuff. Maybe like a skin that we can buy and all the proceeds go to like Breast Cancer Foundation, or maybe like a foundation against helping women who have been suffering from domestic abuse. Something like that would be really, really cool in my opinion. I'm guessing they're going to do something more substantial than changing the colors of the game, but in case you're wondering why your game looks so different, that is why. And apparently it's going to last for the entirety of this month, so I hope you like it. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's not much you can really do about it. Next up, let's talk about how you're going to get 2 skins for free. 2 Icon Series skins and back blings and pickaxes and a glider. So basically like $50 or more worth of cosmetics. It is kind of ridiculous. It is the Naomi Osaka Cup. It is a solo tournament. It is taking place today as of this video going live. It is going to be 30 points for a win and each elimination is worth 1. So pretty placement heavy format. They're also giving the skin out pretty deep into the prize pool. EU, it's going to go to the top 2,500 solos. You're just going to come top 2,500 to get, you know, $50 worth of cosmetics. That's pretty solid. I got given the bundles early and they haven't seemed to be everyone's cup of tea on how they look. They are pretty crazy looking. I think the more basic kind of voodoo style one is pretty cool. The pink and blue one is a little bit extra. I'm sure some people are going to like it, but hey, it's like $50 worth of cosmetics for free for playing in one tournament. I know on EU it looks really weird. Apparently it's saying it's a duos tournament and it's only 2 hours. It seems to be all broken. The official rules are still saying it is a 3-hour 10-game solo tournament, so I would go off that. As far as it being region locked, I've read the rules. I can't seem to see it being region locked, so it looks like you can play multiple regions. So maybe if you, again, if you're NA, give it a go on NA West, NA East, give it a go on EU, whatever you want to do. Maybe it's for free if you pick it up on Brazil or Asia, Middle East, any region you want to play on, give it a go. It does look like it'll be pretty fun as well. I really wanted more skin tournaments throughout the season. I've said it a few times. I would love if even they just did like normal skins, like not Icon Series skin, let's say like Aura skin. And if you already own the Aura skin, maybe you get the Aura's worth of V-Bucks as a compensation for playing in the tournament. Just, I think it'd be so cool. And I think this would be a great opportunity to split these lobbies into console and PC, because so many people in the console community, A, would be more fair for them to get the skin, but I feel like they'd love just competing against console players at least once every couple of weeks. And if they get to win Aura skin, awesome. If they don't, most of you guys tell me all the time, even if you didn't win the skin, you wouldn't care. You'd just be able to judge how well you're doing against other console players. And I think these skin cups would be a fantastic way to finally let console players play tournaments by themselves, because no PC player is going to complain about them getting more prize pool. They're just getting a skin. It would make so much sense to me, but hey, it is what it is. We've had 2 skin tournaments in a few days. That is awesome. I really hope next season we get more of these and it's not just Icon Series or FNCS skins. Again, I'd love to see them be any skin. It doesn't even have to be the special new skins. People just want tournaments to play in with some kind of reward on the line. Epic, please make it happen. I wanted to talk about a really cool graphic that I saw Kinch Analytics made. Again, link to in the description down below. It's super fantastic. It is basically outlining the top 15 players who have made every single FNCS finals, all 13 of them since FNCS started. And there's a few really interesting things about this. Obviously, you have Epic Well at the top with 6 wins, 10 top 5s and 11 top 10s. So there's only 2 times since FNCS was created where Epic Whale hasn't placed top 10. Remember, there was solo FNCSs in there as well. Like, that is just an absolute ridiculous statistic. But EU is the only region without a single player. Obviously, EU has so many pros. A lot of people now using evidence like this and a few other things to argue it is the most competitive region. I feel like more and more as time goes on, EU is proving that. They now have like double the player population of NA East. There are so many pros on EU. It is really, really hard to stay at the top. But then with statistics like this, you don't have players like Tayson up there that people would argue is the best player of all time, or at least since World Cup ended and FNCS started. So do you weight it where if you miss a couple of seasons, you're not the greatest player anymore? Or do you rate it more heavily where if you're a player like Tayson, who when he makes it, he places incredibly highly? I believe I've seen this statistic recently and I want to try to get it if I can for a future video, but I believe the statistic right now going into this FNCS is that Aqua of all players is the most consistent when he makes FNCS finals. And I just thought this was super interesting. I thought I'd show you in case it kind of intrigues any of you guys. There are quite a lot of players up there from the smaller regions, as you'd expect, because obviously less pros usually makes it a bit easier to stay at the top of your game and at least make the finals. But we've still got Stretch and Kanata kicking on strong on NA East, who have made every single finals, but sadly neither of them has a win. And I think potentially we might be changing that with the upcoming FNCS. And no, this wasn't part of my video to talk about, you know, who I think is going to win the next FNCS, who's looking the best and the best teams. I just thought it was a super, super interesting graph, and I wanted to show you guys that there are still 15 players who across 13 seasons of FNCS. Remember, FNCS started in Season X. We've been going since after World Cup, Chapter 1. These guys have made every grand final since World Cup. That is just a ridiculous statistic, and I wanted to kind of shout some of these guys out who, you know, not enough people talk about anymore, I feel like. I know this wasn't a major tournament or anything, but I did want to mention the evaluation cup that happened today. Same as always, 7 games, 2 hours, top 50 teams go through. They play in the set lobbies. There's 4 games and top 5 teams get $400 each. It's not a crazy tournament, but ahead of FNCS on the weekend, it was a good way to see how some of our teams are shaping up with only a few days to go until the big tournament. And Rokane and Joji took out the top spot with 100 points in the 4 games. They're of course playing in grand finals this weekend. TK and Miro, who aren't a real team, came in second on 93. Senton and Cold came in third. Tahi and Edgy came in fourth, still playing together despite not even making grands. I mentioned it. I love the way this team is handling this one at the moment. Edgy tweeted out saying it was his fault he threw. Tahi telling him it's not his fault. Tahi saying that he didn't play well. Just both players owning up to the fact they didn't live up to their standard and they're going to get better and potentially stick together. Also, update on Dubs and Mega. Despite them also not making finals, they are going to stick together yet again. We're going on like 3+ years strong with those guys, and they're going to say they're going to grind for next season and pop off. So I'm excited to see it. And the last team getting money was Nani and Pump, with Macwood and Donnie just missing out. It was kind of a bit weird though. A lot of players not even playing with their set teammates, only a few days out from grand finals. Booga was playing with Avery for some fun. Miro was playing with TK. Muzz ended up not playing with Avery. Obviously, it was all just a little bit weird. He was playing with Jack. So don't take this tournament too much into consideration, but I thought I'd at least mention it. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.